So I've been having more and more thoughts about just how important it is to just put out your content, right? I'm sure a lot of you listen to music and I'm sure this has been something that's been happening over decades and decades, but I see a lot more or hear about a lot more artists that die, that is, having like posthumous albums come out. I know Mac Miller just came out with another album, obviously his team, and he's been dead since 2018, right? And obviously you don't know when it's your time to go. And a lot of artists, they're just making music and they have so much just stuff just available to put out, whether you're an artist, a writer, a painter, or whatever it is that you do. But I think this is more just a reminder that you should really just post your work, right? I'm not saying that spill everything, because some stuff you might be wanting maybe to publish or whatever, or maybe you have a larger project where you want to include smaller pieces. But I think a lot of times as artists, as creators, we just create stuff and then we just have it sit there because we're overthinking everything. We're like, oh, it's not done yet. Oh, I could do something better. Oh, I might have a better idea that might pop into my head. And then you just never post it, right? And you don't even know. Like, I say this all the time, and I'm going to keep saying it. There's someone out there that needs to hear your voice specifically. It may not be your actual voice, and your voice may come through some type of visual, a writing, a painting, a drawing, a music video, or a song. It doesn't have to necessarily be like you speaking like how I'm speaking. But there is someone out there that needs to hear what you have to say. They need to see your perspective in order for them to really blossom into who they are. And it's not putting pressure on you, because I think that we're all connected, but it's just like so many of us just sit around with so many ideas, so many things we've created. It's just sitting in the vaults. And the thing is, it's like if you die, all that stuff doesn't come with you. It doesn't just magically go on the internet. If you have a team, or you're like someone that like marketing or whatever, you already have a team of people, they might take your work and on your behalf still post it or put it online. But most people aren't in that reality, right? Most people don't have a whole team where it's like, okay, we have this music here, let's put it together and compose it and put the instruments together. We got his voice or her voice, let's just put it together and then we can make an album, put it out. Most people aren't in that boat. So if it's something that you created, once you die, that's the end of it, right? And it doesn't always hit the same, or I know it doesn't hit the same in posthumous albums, when you're actually alive to put out the work exactly how you want it to be. And it's just like, you just don't know. You never know when it's your time to go. So until it is your time to go, if you've been called to create, which I think everyone has to a certain extent, go all in with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are end times, these are uncertain times, so there really isn't no other option other than to just put out the art, put out the content, spread the message in any way you possibly can, and not overthink it all the time. Because once you start getting into that state of overthinking, then the enemy comes in and then he tricks you into not saying something or staying silent, And this is something that I have struggled with for years, because I am a recovering perfectionist, and I'm still not fully in the state of healing from that perspective, because a lot of things come with that, like self-doubt and low self-esteem and whatnot. But I was a perfectionist for much of my life when it came to content, and now I'm just trying to go all in and just post as much as I can, not post garbage, because you can fall into that trap too. Not post garbage, not post things that are meaningless, but post things and ideas and messages that I know come from the spirit and are things that people need to hear now, and not always worry about having it being like in the tip top perfected shape, because I know if I get into that space, I'll keep thinking and thinking and overthinking, like, this angle isn't right, and I'll redo it. Nah. And the thing is about it, the more that you post, the more that you just practice your craft, even if you think it sucks, if you look back at your progression, you'll get a lot better. And things look more authentic than always trying to make that Picasso piece. I don't even know why I use Picasso, because I never personally, I didn't find his art to be that great. That's just a tangent, but it was meaningful to someone, so that's all that matters, right? But just keep posting, keep grinding, and just keep posting and really fulfill your purpose. Because in these times, one of the main things that people need is just realness. They don't need a how-to manual of just how to continue being a zombie in this matrix. They need authenticity. They need surrealism, a new way of thinking to pretty much make them understand or open their eyes up that anything is possible through Yah, and that you don't have to succumb to the way of the world, because the way of the world has never been right. The creators, we are the innovators, we are the shifters of paradigms. So just continue to shift, continue to challenge someone's finite perspective. And then from there, you're just fulfilling your purpose. You're just spreading the light. And the last thing I want to mention before I end this video, I was watching a sermon by this pastor. His name is Pastor Darby, and I usually don't watch like online sermons because I'm very skeptical of pastors. But this particular pastor, every sermon that I've watched from him so far, everything he said has come true, either within my life or just what I see in the world. Nothing he said has been a lie. I've seen it all backed up in real life. And he mentioned something that I'm going to include the clip. He basically said that the reason why you are supposed to fulfill your purpose and put out as much light as possible is because everyone is connected, and everything that you say and do has a rebound effect on the next person. So when you create, you're almost like, it's like a domino effect. And everything that you create, every message that you put out, every piece of art that you release to the world, someone's soul latches onto that, and it just continues to grow. Like the light spreads in the midst of the darkness. And this one little piece of the sermon that he was talking about, I just wanted to include it. And I really hope that it resonates with you. And I hope that it really latches onto your soul and your spirit, and that you finally stop overthinking. You finally stop procrastinating. You finally stop pretty much thinking lowly of yourself, and you step out and walk fully in your calling and in your purpose. And lastly, I'll also include the sermon in the description, just in case you want to watch the whole thing. I'll just put in a link in there. So I hope you enjoy this part.
Now, the end times is about removing you. You have to be removed. This is why Jesus said they're going to start a killing campaign to take y'all out of here, because the world can't be deceived. Let me show you how powerful you are. I'm done. Let me show you how powerful you are. You know, in the book of Revelation, the Bible says that we in the tribulation at that point. The killing campaign has begun. God's people are getting martyred, right? The Bible says they all but stomped out Christianity because there's only 2 witnesses left. Remember the 2 witnesses. The Bible says that this shows you how powerful a witness is. Just in 2 preachers was left preaching. Wow. And they turned the world up that day upside down. They were so powerful that God allowed them to be killed in the street. These men were so powerful that they made it a holiday when they died. They said they'd start passing out gifts when the 2 witnesses died. That's why he got to remove you, because any light at all, remember, light shines into darkness. Darkness could never overcome it. So Satan can't leave one light. One light's too much. Y'all don't understand he understands one light. You don't believe me? You don't believe me? What was Paul? He was one light. We still talking about the light that he released. Come on. This is why you're so dangerous. But this is why he fights you so much. Because he know if you ever get in your righteous mind and you begin to walk in who you are, the light you have will affect your generation, that will reverberate down through generations. I'm going to prove it to you. This is the reason why when you die, you don't get your rewards right away. Because all of the light you put out is still reaping dividends. See, all the light I put out, every word I put out there, it's reaping. It's reaping dividends. So he's tried to stop every light. This is why he fights you so hard. I'm trying to get you to understand it. Now the sum is up to get to the end. This is why you ought to thank God that he predestined you to be born again. He predestined. There are those that go to church and there are those that are born again. He predestined me to be filled with his spirit. He predestined me. That means that now I'll prove that to you.